As we are all well aware, because the present government never tires of telling us, Britain is in a very difficult financial position. Apparently, the Conservatives hid a lot of trouble away from the general public, and the Labour Party had no idea about it when they came into office, and they are now doing their best to remedy the situation. And one of the first things they're going to do, just to show how serious they are, is to give the right to a 4-day week for workers. What a great idea. I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. So we have Angela Rayner here, suspiciously wearing orange. My advice to you people is never trust a woman who wears orange. All right. The package championed by Angela Rayner and unions to let people compress hours will leave businesses petrified, warn the Tories. I'm a little concerned myself, and I would not consider myself any more a Tory, unfortunately. Workers are to be given new rights to demand a 4-day week in a law planned for this autumn. Oh, they're going to be busy, those people, this autumn, aren't they? What with a smoking ban and new laws about abortion clinics and 4-day weeks. The Telegraph understands the system of compressed hours, which lets an employee work their contracted week's hours in 4 days rather than 5, will be included in the package of new rights to workers. Oh, so there's going to be a whole package of new rights. Well, I can hardly wait to hear about that. So the idea is if you're supposed to be working, I don't know what, a 30-hour week, then you can do that in 4 days instead of 5 or whatever, if you so choose. It will form part of a law being championed by Angela Rayner, the Deputy Prime Minister, in close consultation with trade unions, as well as businesses. Currently, it says here, employees have the legal right to request flexible working. Oh, that's what it's called. But there is no obligation on companies to agree to that. The balance of power is to be shifted, however, with companies instead legally obliged to offer flexible working from day one. And then they say, except where it is not reasonably feasible. And that's the problem with a lot of Labour-generated laws. They've got this idea that you can make sort of... You can make caveats, which then cause people to never really know where the law lies, because not reasonably feasible is a very elastic term which could apply to almost any situation. And so there are going to be endless strikes over this, as the unions say, yes, it is reasonably feasible, and bosses say, no, it isn't. In most cases, the bosses are going to give way simply because they know the Labour Party will be on the side of the unions, obviously. And this means that workers will have much greater powers to get bosses to agree if they want to complete their full week's hours between Monday and Thursday, taking Friday off. Taking Friday off. Do you think that might have a specific application to a particular religion, maybe? Nah, that's not what they're thinking of at all. Let's move swiftly on. Kevin Hollinrake, the Tory Shadow Business Secretary, said, Despite warning after warning from industry, Angela Rayner is pressing ahead with her French-style union laws that will make doing business more expensive in the UK. I think the operative word here is French-style union laws, because it's quite obvious Keir Starmer is interested in bringing Britain closer to the European Union. In fact, doing away with Brexit somehow, in one way or another. And it seems to me that this here, the fact that the union laws are going to get closer to the sort of union laws you have in continental Europe, possibly is part of that general, well, I can't even call it a drift, intention, more likely. Labour must listen to businesses who are petrified about day one employment rights. Yeah, you know, whatever he says about they must listen. No, they are not going to listen. Critics of the approach warn that flexible working would actually lead to reduced productivity. Well, give the man a cigar. No shit, Sherlock. But a Labour source close to the plans rejected the criticism, pointing out that the Tories vowed to make flexible working the default. Yeah, well, they might have said that, but they didn't do that. Mind you, they've said that about a lot of things that they didn't do. And so saying that because the Conservatives pledged to make flexible working the default, that doesn't mean to say it's right. The Labour Party is all about change, isn't it? How about change to actually being productive? 5 ways Labour says Britain is broken. According to Rachel Reeves, Britain is in a total mess. Speaking to the Commons on Monday, a sombre Reeves said that the new government had inherited a huge overspend from the previous government. I would respectfully suggest that if there is this 20 billion whatever black hole, if there is a problem with the British economy, then experimenting with working hours is probably not such a good idea. Really. Well, that's my opinion of this anyway. But the Labour Party does have a really nice brand image for it. The Working Rights Package, which Labour calls Labour's plan to make work pay, has been the subject of years of internal discussion and debate with trade unions. Yeah, the trade unions who, for instance, in the case of the train drivers union, have managed to extract a huge rise in pay from the present government already before they've even started the parliamentary session. Ms Rayner and Jonathan Reynolds, the business secretary, are jointly working on the new law. The legislation is expected to be published in mid-October, with some elements then going to consultation. All right, well, we'll see how that turns out. Meanwhile, everyone can look forward towards their 4-day week, except for the self-employed, who will have to work a lot harder, I suspect, just to stay in the same place because of all the taxes that they've been lumbered with and will be lumbered with over the next few years. All right, till next time, you can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.